everybody, sorry for the spam with the Battlefield 6 live stream content as of late, but I need to make another video on Call of Duty as I am a Call of Duty channel, and well, Battlefield 6 is kind of the hot stuff right now. So I do apologize, but as someone who plays first-person shooters, I must say, you guys gotta hop on Battlefield 6. If you're a longtime Call of Duty fan like myself, started out on the OG MW3, Battlefield 6 feels like a proper continuation of that formula. If you took my 13-year-old self and told me that at that point that Battlefield 6, show me that game, time traveled me to the future 10 fucking 15 years, said that this was the evolution of Modern Warfare 3, I would believe you. It feels like Call of Duty. It looks like Call of Duty. As someone who's always looked at video games for escapism, as a way to, you know, kind of just leave all my real life problems behind and just have a fun gaming session to myself in another world, another atmosphere, I feel like I'm actually in a well thought out, carefully laid out, beautifully decorated, with lots of care put in world. To all my anime fans out there, if you guys liked Sword Art Online, this is kind of that shit. That's the kind of feeling I've always been searching for too. But then if you told my 13-year-old self that this was actually what Call of Duty was like in another 10, 15 years, I simply would not believe you. It's just that outlandish. If anything, it's just fucking cringe. So I ask you, Call of Duty viewer, where is the marketing and the excitement for Black Ops 7? Yeah, I know in a couple days, or maybe even one day after this video is up, we are getting a little bit more Black Ops 7 teasers and stuff, but this past week with Battlefield 6 out, it feels like the COD community has completely jumped ship. And yeah, there is a zombie section of the community, that's kind of their own stuff, that's their own thing. I'm talking about the multiplayer fans, the campaign fans. 2/3 of what Call of Duty is. This COD community has turned on their own franchise. And the thing that's just so surprising and baffles me is the fact that this is supposed to be like a Black Ops 2 remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it. But it's Black Ops 2, and no one's excited. For anyone that doesn't know, like, Black Ops 2 has been often regarded as the very best pinnacle Call of Duty experience of all time. It's the go-to Call of Duty that everyone loves, no matter what. You won't find a Black Ops 2 hater anywhere. So why? I think the answer is that trust has just been eradicated from this community. Time and time again, you have developers promising stuff to us, and then those promises are broken. While a lot of people will not admit it, I think the theme of Call of Duty does sell the game to a large audience. Why else would Call of Duty every single year advertise the game as some sort of really cool action-packed military shooter, and then as soon as the game comes out, well, yes, Fortnite crowd, let's sell skins to those guys. Let's just fully forget that we marketed the game this way, and we'll just sell out to the Fortnite crowd because, yeah, those free-to-play gamers, they'll buy anything that they like. Next, I kind of want to talk about the fact that this is going to be a Black Ops 2 remake instead of a remaster. I think a lot more people would have been hyped and excited for a remaster Black Ops 2, but because it is a remake, this just means that the modern Call of Duty developers and the publishers can dictate the changes they want to make to a once-beloved Call of Duty experience. If we take a look at Black Ops 2, it had its own identity. It had its own gameplay mechanics and map design and flow. Then you take into account the modern developers and whatnot, that theme has been spat upon. You just put a little bit of spit on there, and then you put a little bit of glitter and sparkles, a little bit of dog shit, and yeah. Modern Call of Duty, that's fucking phenomenal, man. I'd love to slap a poster like that on my wall behind me. Not. Then there's like the whole gameplay changes, obviously. It's gonna be similar to Black Ops 6, just like how MW2 was similar to MW3. They're just one game split into two with slight changes here and there. We all, of course, know that Treyarch has made Black Ops 6 and 7 within 4 years, 4 to 5 years, if you want to count development time during Black Ops 6, I guess. But both games are going to be rushed because you're just not having the typical 3-year development cycle for one game. You're doing 4 years for 2. And then it's like so bad that you're putting Sledgehammer Games on this project as well, just like they did last year with MW3. So yeah, those guys are being strained to the bone as well. You just look at the raw amount of work put in, and you know that this is just not going to be another polished Call of Duty game. If we take leaks into account and we look back at the Call of Duty games that weren't rushed, the last one was Modern Warfare 2019. And then before that, it was Infinite Warfare, because World War II was rushed. They were apparently making Advanced Warfare 2 and they had to change it last second, so then World War II came out with only 9 maps, the lowest amount we ever had at launch. And then Black Ops 4 obviously came after that, but that one went through development hell. The campaign doesn't even exist in that game. The rest going forward is history. I guess before Infinite Warfare we had BO3, which was pretty good. They even had like Zombies Chronicles for that game. And then before that we had Advanced Warfare, we had Ghosts, BO2, and so on and so forth. But yeah, whoop-de-doo. Most of the games in the Call of Duty Warzone era, post-Modern Warfare 2019, have been a rushed piece of mess. They lack proper vision, individuality, proper care for gun balance, different creative classes, like they've all just been the freaking same. And then in recent years we have more AI usage for calling cards and emblems. So who the fuck wants a remake of Black Ops 2? People want a remaster. That way we're guaranteed at least the same movement, the same guns, the same creative class, stuff that worked. And hey, I personally think it would be really interesting if the developers still did like little tweaks and changes throughout the year, like we get Black Ops 2 at launch, right? And then if something's overpowered or people really don't like something, then you can request a change and the developers can take it into account and make changes as, you know, as part of their live service support. One that notably comes to mind for me is those little optics that could see targets through walls. I'm pretty sure the shotguns had those in Black Ops 2. Those were cheesy as fuck. And then like also, if it's a remaster, then you're gonna have something more like Modern Warfare Remastered, where the maps actually retain their OG themes. With Black Ops 7 on the other hand, well, let's just take a look at Black Ops 6 to see how well they're doing there. These are the same developers, same artists, remaking OG maps into modern day Call of Duty games. WMD just dropped. Look how lifeless this shit looks. Yes, they changed the theme of the map, but it's not even a good theme, so why do it? Go watch Replay Mode's video on it, it was really good. I'll have it linked down in the description, so go watch it after this video. I'll remind you guys again at the end of the video, okay? So, continuing on, we've also had leaks that Black Ops 7 would include wall running, as this game canonically takes place after Black Ops 2. Meaning that we're a little bit farther in the future. We got a little bit more advanced technology. I myself was really excited for the wall running mechanics they could include in OG Black Ops 2 maps, and potentially new maps that they add throughout the year. I was gonna make a whole video on the wall running mechanics and how well you could implement them into a boots on the ground game, but that was like 4 months ago or something like that, so I'm just gonna do it now real quick. Infinite Warfare is what game comes to mind for me when I think of boots on the ground Call of Duties with wall running, because that game had a tactical mosh pit. It was one of the main modes in Infinite Warfare. They revamped the entire movement system from an advanced jetpack Call of Duty game into a boots on the ground wall run for a little bit shorter distance than the usual in the jetpack version of the game. Then they also redesigned the movement speed for all of the guns so LMGs feel heavier, stuff like that. If Black Ops 7 had continued down that route, they could have introduced to us, the Call of Duty players, something new, something innovative when it comes to map design. Because when you go back to Infinite Warfare, not every single map had something really interesting about it when you played the tactical mosh pit, but this one map comes to mind, Frontier. Typically, you would just jetpack your way up to this other area to traverse the map, right? It's the only way up. But if you're playing on the tactical mosh pit, you don't have a jetpack, so you have to think of something more creative. Now, I don't know if the developers actually thought of this back then, but as a player, as a problem solver, this is what I did. I jumped on one wall, and then I jumped to the next one around the corner, and I jumped down the next one again around the corner, and look at this, whoop-de-doo, we're going higher and higher and higher as we keep jumping from wall to wall to wall. If you don't think this could lead to some interesting map design, I don't know what kind of drugs you are on. Involving the player to make more decisions as they traverse maps is such a cool idea. Battlefield 6, once again, I'm bringing that game up because it is doing it as well. When you are playing Battlefield 6 and you jump from a 2-story building, you can hit the button on your controller or keyboard that is for crouching, and you'll do a little barrel roll when you hit the ground. This reduces fall damage, so it's just another interesting, such a immersive way to involve the player to think about the decisions they're going to make. This is probably high enough. Look at this.
Oh, bro, ta-da!
I did the somersault, but I died instantly from the enemies. I've also played this other game, Doom 2016, recently. For the first time. It's this sort of demon slaying game, but it has so much combat involved in this first-person shooter that when you like chain all your actions together, you can do some really cool-ass shit. What I'm trying to say here is that more decisions makes things way, way, way more fun. You don't have to like overdo it either. Like, I don't want a button that lets me look at my magazine and counts every little ammunition type, like save that shit kind of thing for Tarkov. I don't want to count every single bullet to check my magazine instead of looking in the bottom right at my ammo counter. Like, no, don't do anything like that. I'm just saying that if you make a game, include mechanics that work well in that game. Black Ops 6 came out last year and they introduced this new thing where you could like omni movement, I guess is what they called it, and you could like dive in any direction. It's completely useless. It's a gimmick at best. I think the only fun thing that I've seen people do is jump off a two-story building on this skyline, I think that was the map name, and into the pool, doing trick shots and stuff. Like, that's it. The mechanic is boring as fuck otherwise. They just didn't build maps to utilize it on. And since Black Ops 6 is going to be very close to Black Ops 7, like, I really don't know how Omni Movement is going to work on those maps, and the movement speed as well. Like, Black Ops 2 is a much, much, much slower game than Black Ops 6, so when Black Ops 7 comes out with maybe the same movement speeds, like, I don't know, man. I don't know how that's going to work. But on the other hand, if you included wall running with Black Ops 2 movement, I could see myself maybe wall running on something around here on the map drone to get from this window to the other window across the map. Like, that would have been kind of interesting. But yeah, no, they didn't do that. Apparently, according to leaks, they're not doing that. And then there is the whole price difference. When you get a remastered video game, it does not cost the same amount as a new video game. Back when Call of Duty Infinite Warfare dropped with Modern Warfare Remastered, that was literally the best deal. That was as good as it got. In Canadian currency, we had Infinite Warfare at $80, and then if you wanted MWR bundled with it, it was another, I believe, $40 with it, so it was about $120, aka half of Infinite Warfare's price for a remastered video game. And then after a year, once they released MWR as its own separate purchase, it was $60. So yeah, you buy Infinite Warfare with another video game, yeah, you get a little discount because it's a lot of money, right? But if you want to buy that other video game separate, yeah, it's $60 instead of $40. Not $80, but it is $60. Which, in my opinion, was a pretty darn good deal. It was pretty darn faithful to the original Modern Warfare, while introducing a lot of new modern progression systems. In a modern Call of Duty game, you really need to have a good progression system, and that game nailed it on the head. Nowadays, we got $90 video games because video game prices have gone up, and then we got Black Ops 7 coming out, and it's gonna be a remaster like how MW3 was, with its own twists on some movement from last year. It's just not worth it to a lot of people. The developers didn't put in a lot of work, nor are they really putting in a lot of care, as demonstrated with Black Ops 6. So if you're still wondering where the hype is, I don't know what to tell ya. The answer's right in front of your nose. So let's get into why Battlefield 6 is winning this year with the gaming community. This isn't just COD players, this is the online sentiment around FPS games. Now Mattsuki, you run a Call of Duty channel, why would you talk about gamers in general, instead of the COD community? Well, little Jimmy or little Ian, this is the community that matters because these are the ones consuming content. These are the people sharing opinions and feedback. They're the ones that are giving enough of a shit to interact beyond just purchasing and playing the game they buy. In an age where everyone is online, everyone is on social media talking about video games, this year, Battlefield 6 is offering an experience. To me, it's kind of insane how video games used to sell people on a world, a universe, but now you got publishers trading all of that off, selling out to just push these microtransactions on the normie demographic that isn't even part of the COD community to begin with. These are the free-to-play Warzone players. And I don't mean normie just as some sort of derogatory term, I mean normie as in the players that are just general fans of video games. They're the ones that are gonna put money on a reference in another video game that they just barely play because they like that reference. They think it's funny. And because this is in a franchise that they barely know or understand, a franchise that they don't even care about, I don't have any respect for the normie demographic. When publishers make stuff for mainstream, they often alienate the audience they used to have, and this audience is only there because they enjoyed what they used to have. They were part of that niche. Once you destroy that niche and broaden everything up, a lot of people lose interest, you lose the magic that made that thing interesting in the first place, and that's how the community dies. That's how the Call of Duty community has died. When everyone part of the COD community was a fan of that military aesthetic, a fan of badassery with Captain Price, Mason, and Woods, and then you squish it, you dumb it down into this unicorn crap, that's when you lose the fans. That's when you lost me. That is how Battlefield 6 won me over. This game's gonna have a campaign. I don't know anything about it yet because it's gonna be new, it's gonna be a standalone. This is a game set in the year 2027, so in another 2 years really from now. So it's pretty modern, it's fucking cool. It's got a bunch of new innovative mechanics, like so reviving teammates has been a thing in a lot of different video games. We've tried so many different techniques. In Call of Duty, you just used to go up to a teammate. Most people like go prone and they hold the revive button and a little meter goes down and then they're revived, right? That has evolved and now we use like a little syringe in Call of Duty to revive players, but you still got the little meter. Then we've had other video games like, let's see, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, where you can actually like pick up your downed allies, carry them to safety, and then revive them, right? You got Fortnite kind of doing the same thing. You pick up your allies, you can chuck them, revive them somewhere else at a bush. I don't know. But yeah, then Battlefield 6 comes out and look at this. Oh, it's so beautiful. They don't have any of those slow-ass animations from Breakpoint where you have to actually pick a player up and put them on your shoulders. You don't have these jank animations in Call of Duty where there's quite literally no movement, you're just frozen in the spot. No. You can revive a teammate and pull them to cover. And this isn't just while standing, you can do this while prone too. I've done it. I'll probably have a clip here on the stream. It was really cool. Talk about saving your allies at all costs, am I right? You can even do it like over a ledge in Battlefield 6. Like I was prone, pulled my teammate over a ledge and we just fell down together. We stayed together and I pulled off the revive behind cover. It's a mechanic that tactically works. You're not a sitting duck anymore, so that's gonna encourage more team play too. And then there's also the pressing a button while you're falling from a high height to reduce fall damage. Like I've already talked about this, you do the barrel roll and it reduces fall damage. There's a mechanical reason to do it, there's a gameplay reason to stay alive, right? And there's more involvement from you're the player. And then to my knowledge, we got these new maps in Battlefield 6. It's a new type of Battlefield design because from what I've heard from Battlefield players, these maps are a bit smaller than the typical ones we get in Battlefield, but as a Call of Duty player, when I played these felt a bit more like, let's say Call of Duty Ghost style maps, but smaller. So think about COD Ghosts, Warhawk. That's kind of what a lot of these maps feel like. Perhaps a little bit larger than Warhawk, so honestly a good comparison is probably Hackney Yard from Modern Warfare 2019. If you play Hackney Yard, imagine that map, all the different types of engagements on that map, not necessarily the size, but the types of engagements of that map, and that's what you kind of got with Battlefield 6 maps. Battlefield 6 also has some different style maps too that are more for sniper combat, like this Mountain Peak one. This one feels a bit more like a Warzone style map because it's obviously more open and stuff. Think back to like Warzone on Verdansk when you were at the military base. That's kind of what this sort of map felt like to me. You got like the roof combat that Warzone typically has, and then you also got like the environmental combat where you're hiding behind rocks and using the environment to your advantage as you flank around. And then you also got the new creative mode where you can build maps. So this is going to be in the full game, and I think it's sort of similar to Battlefield Portal, which I think has been in other Battlefield games. I'm not sure if it's Portal as well or not. But essentially, creators like myself, anyone who's playing the game, can make their own maps and play on them, hopefully for XP, as we have been able to in other video games like Fortnite. This will allow an endless stream of content from the community itself, while the developers can work on their own content that is high quality. Every single one of the maps so far that I have played in the Conquest mode has been extremely high quality. I love these maps. Down to almost every detail in every single environment. Like, I could go out one door and I'd see a freaking fire hydrant going off with a cool little street like exploded, and it's just full of set pieces in every single section of the map again. Whoa, look at this. You can go up in the scaffolding here. Oh. Dude, this game's fucking beautiful. Like, every single area on this map just looks like mwah, chef's kiss art direction. And set piece placements, like, damn. Sorry, I'm gooning on stream. I look at Black Ops 6 and I'm just disgusted by the streets in that game. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to be inspired by looking at this piece of shit? But then I look at Battlefield 6 and I'm like, oh my god, this game's releasing at the same time as Black Ops 6. Like, this is the same year this game's been out. Somehow they just look generations apart. You cut corners and you get what you get, Black Ops 6. Tiny, uninspired, artistically bankrupt maps. And like Battlefield 6 maps too, like there's destruction in Battlefield, but a lot of it, you can't go through every single wall in the game. Like there are walls in certain places there for gameplay related reasons. It's for containing map flow. But at the same time, you gotta remember that Battlefield 6 is not the same game as Call of Duty. It's not 6v6. This is more of a large scale first person shooter. Call of Duty is supposed to be a game where if you play solo, you can do well, you can manage your engagements, while Battlefield, it's a bit more team-oriented. You want to give callouts, you're meant to revive your teammates if they get downed. It's sort of your second chance. So there's a little bit different dynamics between the two series, the two franchises, but I can actually see a vision with Battlefield 6, and that's why you guys should play it. And if you're like, oh, but I'm gonna miss my Call of Duty style content, well guess what? We got Battlefield Portal, the creative mode, where you can just build the maps you like from Call of Duty and put them in Battlefield. You know what? I'll be freaking doing it this year myself. I'll be trying to incorporate Battlefield movement mechanics into my Call of Duty map designs, so I'm not gonna create one-to-one versions of Call of Duty maps. I'm going to make maps that are reminiscent of old Call of Duty maps, but incorporate the new Battlefield mechanics into them, making them their own unique piece of art. So yeah, stick around on the Mattsuki channel if you want to see that, if you want to play my maps. I think we'll start with something maybe like Terminal from MW3. Heck, I'll even do a lot of maps from MW3 because that was my first Call of Duty game I ever played. It's what made me fall in love with the franchise in the first place. And seeing as Battlefield is kind of like the successor to it, yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun this year, guys. We're gonna have a lot of fun. If you guys need a little bit more words of encouragement, I've been told that Battlefield 6 plays a lot like Hell Let Loose and Call of Duty combined. So if you're a fan of Hell Let Loose and you want it to be a little bit faster paced, a little bit more arcadey like Call of Duty, well, there you go. Battlefield 6 is for you. Obviously, this game is very war themed, so if you're into that, Battlefield 6 is for you. If you like gameplay where you actually have to think a little bit more with your little pea-sized brain, Battlefield 6 is for you. That's something I really enjoyed about Rainbow Six Siege when I swapped from Call of Duty MW3 over to Rainbow Six Siege that year. There are 70 different operators in Rainbow Six Siege with their own unique abilities and gadgets, and 70's a fuck ton, right? Well, guess what? You can actually learn that if you put your mind to it. Don't be a brainless Call of Duty drone. Like, get into more games. Don't suckle the teat from this fucking malicious, false advertising company that, like, constantly under-delivers, deceives you by making you buy a game and expecting a year 2 to that game, and then there not being one. It's just the same game split into 2 instead. Don't stay with a fucking franchise like that. That's like Stockholm Syndrome 101. Yes, let's stay with the abusers, guys. Yes, the people, they keep putting us down. Yes, I love that. Haktua. So yeah, Call of Duty Grifters video coming out soon. I've been working on it for the past month or so, just here and there. It's gonna be a banger, so yeah, stick around. See you then. Peace out. Woo! Bye, homies. And this is your reminder to go watch that replay mode video. First link in the description. Go watch it. See ya. Bye!